I ain't even got myself added to the stream. Okay, bet. All right, G. Now the only thing is now I can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear shit.
You got your earbuds in?
Let me see if I can go into my camera and get me. I don't think I'm gonna pick up nothing out of here.
I hear you. You might need your
Mic
ear.
check.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. I'm gonna try to run my sound through the camera.
Okay. Someone says I hear both in the
Mic
comment.
check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, let me see if I can plug this
Flamingo
in.
I can't even say it. Flamingo Snow says I hear both.
What about now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I've been hearing you. Yeah.
Huh.
The whole time you've been talking, I heard you. I thought you couldn't hear me or something.
Nah. Okay. Let's let me um open this shit up in YouTube and see what it look like.
Can you hear this?
Yep.
All right. We good money.
Oh, you got the technical shit. You got the music queued up and shit.
We good money.
Let's see. Oh, okay, hold on. I'm trying. I guess you just don't deal with YouTube if you're going through.
Yeah,
Uh,
so when you with StreamYard, you're sharing because you're on YouTube because I got the alert. So you're on YouTube, but you don't have to use YouTube. It's using YouTube itself, but you don't have to log in. It's nothing you have to do with YouTube. StreamYard's using it.
okay, bet. Check with the time. Okay, thought that.
One of them youngsters coming through. Loud
You
pipes.
heard that?
Yeah.
Sound like he was coming through the wall. Like,
No doubt. He's trying to get away from something.
yeah. All right. Well, for people who might catch this on, who might chime in while we on and catch it on the replay. Um, you probably heard me mention the name Dap Dunlap on if you listen to the music, but this is the enigma. This is the
Oh wow.
musical character behind the sound of Think Music, and we decided to come on here and just sit down here and chop it up about Think Music and um, how it came about, and uh, just hell, we're gonna go where it go, and then if nothing else, to bring to the world's attention something momentous that will
Mm,
be dropping here in a couple of hours or so, you know, which
yes.
we'll get
Yeah.
into that. So I'm gonna yield the floor and let you open it up.
Okay. Well, I'm Dap Dunlap. Um, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. Originally from East Orange, New Jersey, and I lived in Pennsylvania, well, Michigan, and then Pennsylvania. Been in North Carolina for over 10 years, and I met Jamal through uh, a video my wife sent me that he did on Eileen Bay's channel, talking about the stomach. And
Shout out to Dr. Eileen.
Dr. Eileen, no doubt. And my wife sent me the video. I watched it, and she told me that Jamal had a channel, and I went to his channel and subscribed, and was tapping in ever since. Just this, just through his YouTube channel, and then I'll let him explain how he came in contact with me.
So yeah. So when you get these alerts that you got to comment on a video, um, from time to time, I might go and look at the profile, like, let me see who this is. See if this is a real person. So I just so happened to click on this, the icon, like, uh, Dap Dunlap. So who is this? Because sometimes what I'll do is I'll click on somebody's channel and I'll see who they subscribe to. Sometimes you can come across some new information, by just seeing who somebody else is subscribed to, and you might go and listen to somebody that they got saved in their favorites, whatever. Well,
Right.
this particular day, it just so happened that this cat had some music posted. Like, it's interesting. I said, let me listen to a couple of things. So, okay, got jazz flair to it. So I say, some kind of way, I don't know if SoundCloud was posted on there or something.
Yep.
And I went to SoundCloud and listened. And, I said, wheels start turning. Like, you
Mm.
know what? I think I could spit on some of these beats. And I don't know what happened then. I don't know
I
if
think
I,
first you looked out and you purchased the Beats Need Bars instrumental album off
that's it.
Bandcamp. I think
That's
because I
it.
have my SoundCloud and Bandcamp linked on my YouTube page, and you went and dig through those beats too, and then you start checking out the music on SoundCloud.
There we go. That's it. Um, and I don't know. Did I reach out to you? How did we?
Um,
Your wife.
she was signed up for your class, and I
That's it.
think um you and her corresponded through email, and
Okay.
I want to say you might have emailed her your number and I called you or something like that. I know it was through her email, you and her email, and then I got your number.
Right.
We got one of us got each other's number, and then we called each other. And
Right.
and yeah, and then we started chopping it up like like we was childhood friends after that.
Right. 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 And I think the first thing, I was
So,
in
oh, okay.
Greensboro visiting my mother the summer of 2018. And I think, well, before then, that spring, right? You started sending me, like emailing me beats.
Yeah. So I think when you purchased the Beats Need Bars instrumental album, you started. I want to say that was the first stuff you wrote because you wrote Beats Need. You did the Beats Need Bars project. I don't know if
Right.
that's what you worked. Like, that's probably what you wrote to first, or just I know that's what we put out first. But
Right.
yeah, you started on that, and then um, and we started chopping it up on the phone, and I was like, can I send you beats? He was like, yeah, and I started sending you beats, and it's been a 2 year. Uh, it's
Right.
been you know, a 2-year thing of me sending you beats. So, yep.
Yeah. And I guess I'll just jump ahead here. I guess the thing, well, one thing that was first and foremost is that we both were in some mode of studying.
Yes.
Um, and the term that we always, well, this is, well, Dap uses this term, the information. The information is like an umbrella of, it's a it's it's an all engulfing term, you know.
Yes.
Um, so that was the common ground I would say we met on.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing I discovered though with the beats was like, I don't know where to put a damn hook.
Right.
A lot of them was like, damn, I don't know where to where does the hook belong on this beat, you know, as I'm writing, and I'm like, it's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And uh we had a conversation, and we was talking about counting bars.
Right.
And I think my way of counting bars and your way of counting bars was different in some kind of way.
Yeah.
And we was basically trying to figure out, like, okay, now it's like, so what do you prefer? Just to, you know 16 bars and then go in on the chorus, the hook, 4 bars, an 8 bar hook. And I was like, yeah. And then something hit me, and I was just like, you know what, man? Fuck that shit. Send them motherfuckers the way you make them.
Just send
Send them. You know. Excuse my Moorish Latin world. Uh, I was like, nah, just send them the way you make them.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that was one of the most pivotal points and in the journey thus far.
Yeah, because what happened was, because I make instrumental music, it's not structured in the way you would do it for the beats aren't structured the way you would make them for an MC or a singer. So it's not going to be 16 bars of chorus, 16 bars of chorus and such. When no one wants to hear the music that monotonous as an instrumental album. So it's like you got to
Mhm,
do 4 bars of something, then you got to do a transition and then another transition, to keep their ears. So
mhm.
when we started with the music, and when you said, yo, just shoot them like that, it really just helped me continue to work on being free with the music, because now it's not confined to you know 8 bars of this, 16 bars, 8 bars, looping around, you know a transition, maybe a 4 bar or 8 bar transit, a 4 bar, okay, 8 bars of the same thing, a 4 bar transition, and back to the original eight, then a chorus. It's like, okay, you're confined with that. But now when
Mhm.
we just go ahead and I'm doing the music how I would do it if it was an instrumental album, and then you're rhyming over that, it's like you find where you want it. It's like you can put the chorus where you want now, and we found that makes us, that's part of what makes Think Music different from a lot of other groups, is that they're more structured than we are. We're kind of just like flow over the musicality of it, and Jamal, he'll put the chorus where he wants it.
If there is a chorus.
If there is now, listen, go check in on Dubai Sunset and, and things of that
Mhm,
nature, and
mhm.
enjoy the bar fest.
Right. And to me, this is where the metaphysics comes into play.
Hmm.
Because when we're talking about chaos, um, and there being no structure or no order, yet there is an underlying order.
Right.
But we're not trying to fence it in and artificially create order. We're allowing the order that is already present to manifest and show itself.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
once something becomes melodic and
Mm-hmm.
harmonious to the ear, that means there's a level of order that is already present. And it's like you're letting the organic nature, this is a word we always throw around, it's about being organic.
Yes.
You know, you're truly letting the organic nature of things develop and kind of using yourself as a vessel
Yes.
for it
Yes.
to communicate through. And I think it's pretty cool, you know. You know, Dap is always on the, his theme was always emphasizing Miles Davis and Coltrane. He said, "Man, I'm chasing Coltrane. I'm chasing
Yeah.
Coltrane."
Yes.
And at first, it just sounds like a cool little cliche. Oh, okay, buddy, you're chasing Coltrane. That's cool, you know.
Right.
But um, what the process for me as a writer, what has happened is by letting go of my necessity for certain structures, it has expanded my capacity to write. And
Mm.
then that whole statement of I'm chasing Coltrane starts to make sense
Yes.
because because it starts to eke out through the writing. You know, what's your your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the whole chasing Coltrane and Miles Davis thing comes from me growing up on jazz and l- understanding where it took me listening to it. Um, and I told you the story where me and my uncle we listened to Miles Davis kind of blue 4 times, and
Mm-hmm.
well 5 times. Each time we listened to each player in their totality, like without paying attention to anything else. So your first run, you listen to Miles off the jump. Then after that, you listen to Coltrane. Then after that, you listen to Elvin Jones. Like, you know, you listen to each person, and then you listen to the song as a whole. And every
Mm-hmm.
time you listen to these guys talk in interviews, they were always talking about pushing to the next thing, never staying in one place with their music. And I don't know if Coltrane, if you listen to Coltrane later, like later, his later years before he passed away, nobody could understand where he was going. Only he knew where he was going.
Mm.
Like concerts of him just playing what people would call crazy. He just, but he had it was like he knew. I don't know if he knew his time was coming or what, but whatever he knew, it seemed like he was trying to get it all out when he went live. Just playing all these phrases, and people like, yo, it's noise. Like, what is going on? They was walking out of his concerts, but he
Mm.
knew what he was doing.
Hmm.
There's a church in California named after him. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And like these people really like my dad always told me that Coltrane wanted to be a saint. And he tried to tap into that through his music. So me being raised on jazz through my father and then finding my own artists I delved into like um Grover Washington Jr., Bob
Mm-hmm.
James, Pat Metheny, Jean-Luc Ponty. Like when I was listening to those guys in the 90s, it was like these guys was just touching me in a way that I didn't know what was going on. So I knew that when I started doing music again, because I did do music before then, I took some time off, but when I came back, I knew I wanted to do what they did. I wanted my music to touch people how their music touched me. So that was
Mm-hmm.
so I knew I wasn't gonna rap anymore. I was just gonna do instrumental music moving forward. And I was like, okay, now I need to tap in to what they were trying to do in my music. and to find an MC that can rhyme over that, it just adds more to the magic, in my opinion. You know, because what people don't know is what our creation is. I just make beats and send them to you, and you write to what you feel. That's what
Mm-hmm.
that's what we call organic. It's like I send
Mm-hmm.
Jamal, who got Jamal has all my beats, pretty much. Like the stuff you don't have is on SoundCloud. You know what I mean? But everything I've made, except for like a couple projects, like a project I worked on where I didn't send those beats out, he pretty much has everything I done. So now when he gets them, whatever his process is, he taps into it, and that's how we bring all these projects. And I'll let him give you, his process.
Yeah, yeah. It's the beat. I get a buffet of beats come to me, and um, I might do a scan, listen. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's blah blah blah. Uh, but then at the time, I probably got uh, the wife might be at work. I'm here with the kids. They're running through the house, tearing shit up, trying to tear each other up. So I'm kind of halfway listening, halfway checking on them. But my main time is like at night, you know, as they're going to sleep and the house is silent. And I put the earbuds in and I hear
Earbud.
all this shit that I didn't hear the first two times I listened. I hear a
Right.
little foghorn, I hear static, I hear little trinkles sound like the glass is being broken and all this stuff is dancing in my brain and hitting these synapses are firing. And it's funny
Mm,
how this thing works. And then I start to catch it just like inspiration. Then I go over to my notepad and I start writing. If I get 4 bars, 2 to 4 bars, it's a wrap.
yes.
It's a wrap. There's no forcing anything. It's I know, okay, if I get this started tomorrow, whenever I get a chance tomorrow, I'll add a little bit to this.
Mm-hmm.
And just a funny thing, I was telling Dap is like you're talking about organic, like
Mm-hmm.
uh working as a freelance writer, what I would do was I would go out to ride my kids. I call it the nap ride. And I'm driving them until I start seeing that head tilt to the side. And I already got at the time I didn't even know that I could have a hotspot on my phone.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I had scoped out
Man.
all these places I knew I could jump on the internet, like Lowe's, Whole Foods. You can
Mm-hmm.
pull in their parking lot and get on their Wi-Fi.
Yep.
On my way to the destination, as I'm stopping at red lights, I got the music playing and I'm like, oh damn, the inspiration be so heavy. I stop at the red light and try to type in a few bars, you know, light change, go. And it might be so heavy I gotta pull over off the road and just park in the parking lot for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even got to my destination yet to start doing my work. It's just
Right.
I got to jot this down. And to me, I feel that's what we call organic. You
Yeah.
know, you live in life, you going through all your responsibilities,
Mm-hmm.
but you still trying to find a place for some art. You know,
Yeah.
um, it's just an amazing thing that we don't never really have no concepts for nothing.
Nope.
He sends the beat. So, beat might have this. All the beats had these ill titles. Sometimes I might change it though.
Right. Yep.
But like when he sent that Opus 5 and it was Dubai Sunset, I said
Yeah.
that's got to be one of the. I said this title does not get touched. I said, that's got to be one of the illest titles I ever seen. Dubai Sunset. Just, that's a
Yeah.
fucking movie, you
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
And so the title inspired me to write. I wrote to the title, you know? And yeah, man.
Yeah, it's funny because you have to name. I have to name the beats. I heard somebody say this is like I was, funny. I was reading this article last night. This producer that was working on Taylor Swift's album, and he was saying like you got to name the beat. He's like I got to name him something. He was saying like he'll name some of his songs or music he's working on after cities where his friends live at and things like that, or just little quirky. So the beat titles is like you got to name them something. So I just be trying to, sometimes I'm making it and the title will come to my head, and that's how that Dubai Sunset was. It was just like, because I look at so much. I'm a YouTube scholar. I watch so much stuff on YouTube. So my motivation it comes from all over the place when I'm naming these beats.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dubai Sunset it felt right. Sometimes titles is just sometimes you get it right where it just fit with the beat, and then you know for Jamal to hear it and it touches him without him even, and that's what we talk when we say organic. Like we really mean this is organic. Like when I send him music and it touches him, once he get enough, then we'll sit down and all we do is say what sounds right coming in after the other. That's the only thing we
Mm-hmm.
do. Is like what makes
Mm-hmm.
sense coming behind. Like all we talk about is sequencing. Once we have a few tracks, if it's
Mm-hmm.
a one off, it's just a one off. That's nothing to talk about. I never know what he's gonna write. Like he doesn't say, "Yo, Dap, I'm going this way." He might text me 4 to 8 bars. He might send me a vocal text where he spitting something through his phone and he send it. Or when we talking on the phone, he'll say, "Yo, like I got something crazy," and he'll shoot it. I never know like what the song is gonna sound like to it until it's fully done. He then went to the studio and then I get the copy. Like and that's how
Mm-hmm.
we rock. Like I just make beats and he just write. And
Right.
and not to say there couldn't be input. I don't want to make it look like that. I'm just saying like he writes what he write. I make what I make. It touches him. He writes to it, and we put it out. That's how easy it is. It's no rocket science to this thing, and it's all organic. You know
And
what I
ain't no
mean?
micromanagement.
No micromanagement. So all the music we put out, it touched him in a way to motivate him to write what he wrote, and then we put it out. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And what we got lined up to come out next is the same way. He like he said it. I'll send him. I might get off. So for those that don't, well, y'all don't know, I have a cleaning business, and Fridays is like Thursday night is like my Friday because I don't technically have to go clean my accounts on Friday. So I get off work and make beats, and I might send him 5 beats Friday morning, and the text just says, "Check your email, fam."
Right.
That's it. And he go to his email.
Christmas morning.
Yeah, and when he shot me that sometime last year, like yo, it's Christmas time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's real because it might be one beat, it might be 5 beats, it might be an opus, you know, and a opus is what we
Yeah.
call
Let's get into that.
Dubai Sunset. Yeah, a opus is when I'm sitting back gathering sound sources, and like I told him, if I get 3 of them, it's an opus. If I'm sitting down going through some joints and I pull 3 into the machine, it's gonna be an opus. And peace BK trainer.
Big
And
K, what's up?
and then I just go from there. And I'll make the opus in one sitting. It might take me 4 hours to make it. And I'll send it to Jamal the next day and be like, Dubai Sunset Opus 5. And he's like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been sending them opus. We have 11 opuses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I've been sending him these opuses for a while. And And when I was sending them to him, he was like, "Yo, G, this is like." First, he was like, "Yo, this is a lot of writing." Like for real, he was like, "Yo, this is a lot." But then, I think I think the first one he wrote to was Dubai Sunset, and
Yeah.
he had it for a while, and he sat on it, and he got motivated, and he wrote, and he was like, "Yo, I'm writing to it." I said, "For real?" He like, "Yeah." And man, when he finished it, and we're gonna remaster that and send it out. We're gonna because we done found a good engineer, and we're
Yeah.
gonna redo that one and send it back out. But he wrote to it, and I was like, okay, and I'm excited now because I'm like, yo, this is about to be, this is special. And man, when he sent me that thing, I was like, yo, this is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to listen now. I think I hear one of the kids fussing. Um, yeah, man. It's uh, to me, like I said, that was another one of things
Yeah, the third
of
BK, my bad. BK trainer, I chopped that third cup up. Yeah, I chopped that up on Beats Need Bars. Yeah.
oh damn, he done peeped the sound source.
Um, I just seen him say that. I don't know if he ever listened to that album, but yeah, the Eddie Fisher joint. Um, I don't know what he mean by third cup, but that's a jazz joint, and I did chop that up before.
Hmm. Um, I think the first thing, like you said, I had to get over with the Opus was that shit's daunting. The idea of writing for 8 minutes, 9 minutes, and with no fillers, no repeating something 3, 4 times. Um,
Appreciate it, sir. Appreciate it.
you know, um, but I think we had a conversation. I was like, that's it. Now I remember it's coming back to me with beach with Dubai Sunset. I was like, well, maybe, man, I'll write to the beats that really, really strike me, and we'll just kind of maybe
Let
do
an
some
instrumental
spoken
play.
word.
Yeah, yep. Or let an instrumental play that you just come in and bar it
Right,
down, and then another instrumental. Then you was like,
right.
nah, I could write
That's
to
like
this.
it's like, nah, I'm gonna write to the whole thing, And like I say, it expanded my writing, just expanded my creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, man, just
And I say the first time he was inspired, like he did beats. The first beat I know that he was like, "Yo, this is crazy," is on the Global Reset album, and the song is called "Freelance." That's the beat
mm,
that he heard on my SoundCloud, where he was like, "Yo, this right here." And I said, from there, I said, "Listen, whatever gives you that feeling, write to that, and we'll put that out." Straight up. And he
mm-hmm,
was like, I said, yo, whatever I send you that gives you what you feel right now listening to that particular track, let's put those out. Because then I'm like, yo, you motivated to write to that. And you know what I'm saying? And I think that'll be, I think that'll make sense.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, that it on SoundCloud it's called Virtually Part 4, but on Global Reset it's called Freelance. And that beat right there was the one that he was just, that's the first one that was just like, wow, bro, like this joint's crazy. And
That
I
shit's
mean,
special.
yeah, and he's the one that pushed those numbers up on that joint. Like he pushed those numbers up on that SoundCloud joint,
Yeah,
man.
like, listen to that thing over and over and over.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, let's talk about the process of we started in 2019 of piecing those one-offs together.
Okay.
Um, Let me go into. I'm gonna pull
That's
up
what I was
my.
about to do because I got to remember the joints.
It's my going to my playlist. I'm trying to go in without. Change this YouTube up. Let's go into my playlist. Here we go. So here we go. First one was it Iberian Oracles?
I think the first thing that December we put out Divine, right?
Divine. Divine was after Dubai Sunset, right?
I thought it was Divine, I Divine, Iberian Oracles, Watching Birds. I think was that the three?
Yeah, we got Iberian Oracles, Watching Birds, Divine. Somewhere in there we put Cockatoo. But those were the main that they were the main ones. No, Divine was first
Yeah,
because we
it was
took them through the
Divine.
tunnel. When they
Yep.
came out into the light, we took you to the desert with Iberian Oracles. Then while we were in the desert, we finished off with Watching Birds.
Birds. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the goal was even with the artwork and the songs, they were all a story and they all connected with Dubai Sunset.
Yes.
If you look at all the artwork, it's somewhere in the desert. It's ancient
There's a court.
ruins.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's all coordinated,
Mm-hmm.
which wasn't planned. Like when
Nope.
we sat down and was like, we was on the phone one day and we looking and we like, yo, like Divine is like he's in the hall and there's light, and then Jamal's like, yo, when you come out into the light, what do you see? It's like the sand. It's like, yo, so that's Dubai Sunset. And then it's like, while you looking out, you see the bird. You see you're seeing the statues and the ruins and the pyramids. So now you see a bird. So now you get watching birds, and then you're just happy to be out in your Iberian oracles. Now you the man with the turban on, laying in the sand, like, man, I made it out of the darkness into the light.
Right.
And we didn't sit down and say that's how we was gonna do it. We sat down at the end of the year and was like, yo, just look how this all lines up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, and then we dropped them in a row like that. But when the songs were made, that concept wasn't there. And that's what we talk about going back to organic. Like that wasn't that all came about in that moment. And then we just released them in that way. With unbeknownst to nobody. We didn't talk about it until now. Like the public didn't know. You all didn't know. Y'all just seen the artwork and was like, okay, but it was a story behind it. We're telling y'all the story now, but it was a story behind it. So there's stories behind the artwork that goes into what the music's about. Once we get the music done, because we'll sit back and say, okay, what's the artwork for this? Like a global reset. It's like, what's the artwork for this? And then we come up with an idea. And then once we do that, would you say it's safe to say that the mental thoughts and juices start flowing to where it's like these concepts come out now?
Yeah. I think there's the natural innate process that's going on. And then once we recognize what that was, then
Mm-hmm.
there's the conscious effort to continue formulating that to a final product. Final product.
Yep.
But rarely does it ever just start out like Global Reset is. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, Global Reset is a beat that's, like I said, freelance is from 2 years ago.
Right.
Um, the last beat for None, that's like 2 years ago.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
um, Milan Fashion Week
It was a few
was
months ago.
a few months ago.
Yep.
Um, Global Reset a few months ago.
Yep.
But sonically they fit,
Mm-hmm.
and the bars that was written for them somehow go, because freelance, when I heard that, I started writing for that immediately.
Yeah, we had that in the tuck for a long time.
Long time.
Yes.
So that it lets you know there's some force
Mm-hmm.
that when you allow yourself creative license, there's some force that rewards you that is somewhere lurking in the shadows that feeds you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to where even when you're not even trying to make something line up, it's been lining stuff up all along.
Right. Yep.
um we talk about people who express creative blockages, whether it's
Right.
as producers or MCs, and how we cannot relate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that I'm jumping ahead here, but th- there's something we're going to release here in about an hour or so, or a
Mm-hmm.
couple of hours,
Yeah.
and I think it's monumental, you
Yeah.
know. But there's I'm a spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
There's a end of it. I got a bar. It says Dunlap told me that melodic minimalism is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
He also said simple boom bap is a trap, and that a jazz mind never has a cap.
Mm.
So if you're thinking like a jazz artist, and he just laid out how Coltrane took people somewhere they were not even ready for,
Mm-mm.
then how can somebody as a hip hop artist feel like they've done everything that they could do, whether you are a producer or MC? How could you be burnt out unless you are thinking inside of a box?
Exactly. Yep.
And if you're just uh writing 16, throw in a hook, you
Yep.
know, let me write something for the women, da 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 da. Let me give you some street shit, da da
Yep.
da da. What if I don't think by any other parameters that whomever says it's supposed to be? Like, like for me personally as a writer,
Mm-hmm.
when I when me and Dad was talking in the early phases, when we even came up with the name Think Music,
Mm-hmm.
part of the premise was I'm not trying to write for motherfuckers to understand what I'm saying. I don't care. Because here's what always happens. We always say you got to talk to the people's level. And we
Right.
always assume that people are stupid. I'm assuming that people had the capacity to expand their minds to wherever the fuck I take them
Right.
if they allow themselves. So that means I'm not going to limit my vocabulary. I'm not going to limit my concepts. I'm not going to try to cater to what I think is popular or the sound or am I street enough? Am I sounding hard enough? It does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's freedom from my standpoint as a writer. And I'm gonna let you expound on how does that play out for you, that freedom. One more final thing. I said, if you remember, I said, I'm trying to speak to their subconscious mind. Even
Mm.
if they don't understand consciously what I'm saying, their subconscious mind will get it, which means I have a certain intent. I'm an Aquarius. So Aquarians, no matter what, we might be standoffish and don't necessarily like dealing with people always, but to the core, we're humanitarians. At least the energy overall. My intent is always some level of humanitarianism in the bars, or as in I'm hoping that they will spur some type of inspiration. That when I say I'm really saying you. I want you to accept the moniker of the I is you. So even if it sounds like I'm boasting in a rhyme, I want you to accept that, and you take that layer on and you're saying it for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
That's
but
dope.
but from a producer, give me your how you approach that same concept from your production standpoint.
Um, yeah, I think on the production, everything. I was telling someone that uh, I'm using everything at my disposal. It's like I use the concept as if you go outside and someone make me something with all the elements outside. You're like, well, I'm gonna take this branch, I'm gonna grab some leaves, I'm gonna grab this rock. Like you're gonna take
Mhm.
everything out there, and it may not be something. It may be an abstract piece of art, and that's what I do with the music. I got records, I got machine expansions. Um, I listen to interviews. There, I take a day or two away.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I just told Jamal this the other day. Like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna ever have beat block. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Real rap.
because it's too much stuff that I can go read a book and it's motivate. Like, there's things I do that just motivate me to where I come back to the music. So it could be, let me just use an instrument I've never used and try to make a melody out of it. And then if I find something that makes sense with it, then I'm gonna try to make a beat around that. And then and then what I noticed, I just did that recently, and that piece that started me off took me somewhere else. Because now I'm doing these start one way and another way type beats now, where
Mhm.
I start off somewhere and then when the beat and you like, damn, like he started here but it ended here, like, but that's the progression of my musicality, man. Like I'm really trying to do something, and I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just saying for my art, I don't want to do what everybody else is doing. Yeah, I
Mhm.
sample records and all of that, but I'm trying to sample stuff that I don't think no one's gonna go grab and then find something on that record and make something. You like, yo, where you get that from? Then when I show you the record, you like, yo, you got that from that?
Yeah.
You like listen, like this beat that I got loaded up right now. If I showed you the album, you'd be like, yo, you okay, you made like, and now it's organics added to the sample, but I'm just saying if I play just the sample at its regular tempo and then I pitched it down -7 and then found some chops, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You're like, okay, wow. And that's how I go, man. The next thing I know, I got something going and it's a wrap after that. It's a wrap. So I'm always trying to push the boundaries. And then to have an MC that's aligned with that and I could shoot him these ideas and these beats and he's like, yo, like I get it. And then he can write some bars to it.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. You was paused for a minute, um but I hear you now. I hear you. It says your mic is muted. There you go. So I'm muted now. But yeah, that's like where my creativity's at, man. It's like I don't feel like I'm a I was telling Jamal, man, go look up go look up Herbie Hancock and see how many albums that guy got.
Mm, mm, mm.
You know what I'm saying? Go look up Chick Corea and see how many albums he has. These dudes been making music for 40 years. They got like 30 albums. And mind you, it's not like 10 tracks on every album or whatever. But just talking from a creative standpoint, you know, they play the keyboard. There's only so many scales. There's only so much. So now, um, you're confined to that. But then, okay, but what can I do within that? And that's the key. What can I do within? If I am confined, how far can I stretch out in this confinement? You know what I mean? And that's where your picture's frozen again. But yeah, it's like how far can I go? And like I said, to have an MC that can rhyme on this production, I think it enhances it. Okay, you
Okay, am
back?
I back?
Yeah, you back.
Okay, I see the problem. I, it's time to get another computer. I'm trying to export this track out of Premiere at the same time we on here. And I think every time I try to do it, I think it's throwing off the
Mm.
what's up, Second Nature. I think
Hey,
it's throwing us
hey,
off. So I'm just gonna let that live till we get done.
okay.
Um, my bad.
Nah, you good. You good.
Yeah,
Um,
back up just a little bit because I don't know. It froze on me a little bit on my end.
no, I was just saying that, I don't think I'll get beat blocked because there's too much for me to pull from to be creative. I can go read an article in a magazine. I can go, like, I like to go listen to jazz interviews because those guys
Right.
are always trying to push the boundaries. I go listen to that and I come back and sit down and be like, okay, what's going on? I got a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of records, and it's just like you just go listen and I'm telling you, man, another thing too, like, sampling ain't easy, bro. Like, you gotta have an ear. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like people want to make beats and that's cool. Like, I get all of that. But when it comes to finding samples, you gotta have an ear, fam. And what happens is people try to have another producer's ear. Well, I'm just gonna get some soul records, and I'm gonna go get some jazz records. So I'm gonna go get some funk records and try to make a Ninth Wonder beat or a Pete Rock beat.
Right.
And it's like you're trying to find what they used to make what they did. Like, nah, I'm not on that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to forge my own way, being a sample producer and creating organic beats. You know what I'm saying? Because I do organic beats too. So I'm trying to forge my own way um with that. And that's why I go get the records I feel like nobody's gonna go get. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I differentiate myself from everyone else. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure there's other people that do that too, because there's only so many. If you start going to get soul records, your beats are gonna sound like they're just gonna sound like the people that did those type of beats. So now you got to go get other elements, and then add some organic stuff to it to really make it your own thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. And then, like I said, to have an MC that can spit on it. Because we're not doing traditional 16 chorus. Like, we're
I
not
don't
doing.
even. I don't even know how long. I don't even know how many bars being what.
Yeah,
Stop counting.
yeah. It's just it when you writing to, like I told Jamal, when I used to rhyme, I used to find I never wrote on on a bar structure. I just wrote to whatever was touching me in the track, and I wrote to that. And sometime it might have made sense, sometime it didn't. And then what I started doing was, um when I started making beats on my own, I would just look and make sure my verses fit in the the bar structure. So 1 4 2 4 3 4 4 4 1 4 2 4 3 4 4 4. I would just look at it and make sure my each bar was lining up within that, and then that's how I started counting 16s. But when I was just writing to a beat, I didn't know how to count snares and kicks and all of that. I just wrote, and when I
Mhm.
thought I was done, or what I felt was the 16, that was it. And then I'll rhyme, and they'd be like, "Yo, you're off," and I don't know, but just keep it. Like,
Mhm.
that's it. And
Mhm.
and like I said earlier, like when it comes to making these beats, because before I met Jamal, I was just doing instrumental albums, and I was just making, like I said, I didn't want to do. Now beats need bars was kind of, that structure wasn't too many transitions in it, because that album was for MCs to just spit on, and I know when you want to spit, you don't want 1,000 changes, you just want the best part of the beat and just rhyme. So that's what that one is. But everything outside of that, it has some movement to it. And when Jamal said, "Yo, just keep the movement," I was like, "Cool." It's just now it's allowing me to just keep doing what I'm doing and keep progressing the way I'm progressing. And he's just catching it now. Now he understood it. He's like, "Yo, I get it." And then he just started writing. So you might hear him spitting over something, and then when it circled back, it's the chorus this time.
Mhm.
You know
Mhm.
what I mean? It's the chorus now.
Because now I'm free. Now
Free.
I'm not looking for the chorus. I'm
Nope.
not not even concerned whether it's gonna have a hook,
Nope.
and now let's,
Julius and Malone.
hey, come on, man. We're just gonna
Bar
go.
test. Yep.
And look, well, do we want to get into some astrology?
Sure thing.
Okay. Here, at least, well, where you at? Oh, it's already
Yeah,
12.
it's that time.
It's already
We lined up.
December 21st.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is a monumental time in human history. You know, um, Jupiter and Saturn have not conjuncted in Aquarius in like 800 years. First of all, Jupiter and Saturn conjunct every 20 years, and it takes them roughly 200 years to go through a sign or go through an element. So they've been predominantly in Earth for the last 200 and something years, aside from it jumped up into Libra in 1981.
Okay.
Aquarius is expansion. Aquarius is rebellion. Aquarius is freedom. If you know anything about mythology, or this particular mythology, is Prometheus. Prometheus, in one story, he goes and steals fire from the gods and brings it back to man. He steals fire from Zeus. Okay, this is, so he's rebelling against the established order. Peace, Lady Al. Um,
Peace. Yo.
the established order would be, in some regards, Saturn. Saturn, ruler of Capricorn, which is where Jupiter and Saturn have been, in Capricorn. Okay. So with these two major bodies moving into Aquarius, it's it feels like it don't feel, it is the time to, each person individually is charged to think outside the box.
Mm.
Yet still remembering whatever structure you developed from Capricorn. See, Capricorn is structure. What's right in front of your face? I did on, other video about, people in my family that's Capricorns. They know how to get that money. They know how to apply themselves and get the job done. They all about, like that goat climbing up that mountain that don't seem possible. That's Capricorn. But now that structure that we've worked to build, now we into air, expansion, which is why we feel the music that we make is for now.
Yes.
Dap is 45. I'm 43.
Yes.
If the universe says so, 44 here in a little over a month. So there's this old moniker that rap is a kid sport. But we defy that attitude and that ethos. Rapping is for kids if you're still dealing with kid shit.
Right.
We ain't 45, 43 years old still walking around here talking about like we trapping. Mm-mm. Talking about threatening people. Mm-mm. Like, come on, man. You fuck around here and throw your back out, man.
Right.
You talking, I ain't got time to throw around no baseless threats. Now that don't mean you can't get your ass choked out now, but that's the last thing you trying to do when you damn near 50 years old, man. So this is grown man shit we talking about, and it's supposed to be mental. That's why it's Think Muzic.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? If you can't expand your mind now, you dead in the water, because everything's in air now. Yeah. If your thoughts are slow,
And it's like also, we all grew up. I'm pretty sure there may be some young people that check in or whatever, but we grew up on hip hop with a message. You know what I'm saying? And from the KRS's, the Public Enemies, X Clan, Poor Righteous Teacher, Brand New, and even the Melly Mel and them Furious Five and all of that, like where we grew up in an era where you had everything. You had dudes talking street, you had dudes dropping knowledge, you had dudes
old school Q.
Yep, just want to be fun, and so it's like there's still hip hop for our age demographic, but like Jamal said, it's grown man hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff he's rhyming about is is metaphysical, but then it's also practical, things you can use in your everyday life. And you don't have to say, I still like hip hop. Now, I have a 21-year-old and an 8-year-old and a 7-year-old, but but my older two, I turned my son on to some MF Doom and some Nas,
right.
and my man Sky Zoo, and it's like when he was just here for Thanksgiving, he was like, "Yo, Dad, I still be listening to that MF Doom." I'm like, yeah,
Doom special.
Yeah, he's like, he said, "Yeah, that Food album, like, I still go to that." He's like, "I still listen to all the people you turned me on to." So so I think, for us that grew up on hip hop, we're trying to do an elevated version of that, which is we're in our 40s, but yes, Mad Villain.
Yeah, what's up, D. Lou? What's up, Brother Williams?
But that's what we're trying to bring to you guys. Like, instead of thinking hip hop is dead and it's a young man show and all of that, like, nah, we're showing you that you can still enjoy hip hop the way you like it, with a message. If you want that, we're here to bring that to you. You know what I'm saying? We're here to bring you some different style production, and Jamal got the lyrics, and we put it together, and we hope it makes you think. That's why we call ourselves Think Music. We hope it makes
Mm-hmm.
you think. We hope when y'all listen to the music that it touches y'all and in the way that music touched us. We're trying to,
Mm-hmm.
I guess in a way, give it back how we received it, put it back out in that way. That's why I tell you with my instrumentals, I try to tap in and, I'm not trying to be John Coltrane. I'm not trying to be Miles Davis. I'm just trying to, whatever I'm trying to find it within me. I'm trying to find what they had in them and me to put something out to touch you pretty much.
Right. Right. Right.
Hopefully we're doing that. And like I said, with the art, all this album art we put out, you go on our Bandcamp, all the album art makes sense with what we put on that project, be it a single or EP, and with our debut album coming forward, it's all connected. And we've been talking about doing, maybe doing like a podcast once a month or something, just to give y'all an update of what we working on and some behind the scenes things. But just believe us, everything is connected. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Most definitely.
I want to say something too. Is that the predominant generation of hip hop has been Generation X, but hip hop the torch was passed from the baby boomers. Those first pioneers of hip hop were on the tail end of the baby boomer generation, and they passed the torch over. Now we have to wonder, why were we labeled as X?
Mhm.
And in Hebrew, the X is basically is the Aleph, and it's the light. When you take that same Aleph and you turn it uh, 15 degrees or so to the left, you've got the plus. When you turn it back to the right, you've got the multiplication symbol. There is so much energy pointing towards the significance of what we have agreed upon is the year 2020, because we know calendars vary, but the overarching agreement is that this is 2020. And Dap and I were talking about this, and it's that what's amazing about those numbers 2 and 2 is that when you take that Aleph as a plus, 2 plus 2 is 4. When you take that same Aleph and use it as a multiplication symbol, 2 times 2 is 4. We're in a magical year where if you've never understood magic, if you have never understood manifestation, this is that window, and we are the conduits, us collectively as Generation X, because now we are the ones who have given birth to the millennials. And these millennials, man, I often talk about this, not to go off on no tangent, but just bear with me, Dap, for 30 seconds, and I'm gonna.
I got you.
We always talk about that story. It says King Herod was looking for the babies, right? The whole story of, and here we are right here at the winter solstice. And they said he was hunting for the male children, and he was trying to offer them. It is my opinion that that was a future time story talking about right now. And these millennials are carrying something in their DNA, in their blood, that is unspeakable and is unfathomable. And all the things we're seeing going on now is an aspect of King Herod trying to snuff out that light. So all of these thoughts, all of these inclinations and emotions go into our art because it's not, look, you start to see it as a mission because, art is timeless,
Right.
and art can inspire um, in ways that we can never even imagine. And I know I don't went off on the fucking tangent, man. You gotta,
Man, right out.
um, but I often say when we talking, on the phone and everything, it's like, man, it's we feel a responsibility because why is it you're born at the time you're born and come into the knowledge that you have at a time like this? Look at, man, there are mythologies going to be created about the time we living in right now. So why do we have this whatever level of understanding?
No, my bad.
Oh, this level of understanding that we have at this time. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I'm gonna yield the floor because we'll fuck around. It'll be 3 o'clock and I'll still be pontificating over here.
Nah, my wife was showing me something, she getting ready. She just came in, getting ready to lay my son down. She was writing something on this little whiteboard. But
Say
no,
peace to the wife.
yes. But yeah, I think what you said makes sense, man. Like being in this moment right now of where we at. And I'll just speak on like me and you, man. Like, I didn't know on the low I was doing metaphysics for real. And like when I met Jamal and he started talking to me more about it, um, even like with the magic, like I can't front. Like I grew up in the church. I listened
I
to some
did too.
yeah, like I listen to some stuff, but I don't know. I used to be Bobby Hemming giving, Shambhala, and I used to mute that. Like I'm like, yeah, I don't know what might be coming into my crib listening to Bobby, spitting out alcohol and calling on these people. I don't know none of these people. I told him a story. Like even when I watch movies and you get to doing some incantations, or something I don't know what's going on. I'm muting that. Like I don't know what's going on. But when he turned me on to like, yo, just write a word for 24 days, like at the new moon. And I tell him this story, man. Like I had this pain in my foot. Like I had this pain in my foot that every time I woke up, it like I was almost like limping, and then it would kind of dissipate and go away. But it was like every morning. So he was like, yo, do magic. And I'm like, man, I don't know. But I'm like, okay, this is cool. Let's just write in the word. So I wrote the word. And I did it and everything. Next thing I know, yeah, D-Lo. I wrote the word, and one day we
You
were
said no
talking.
thunder dog in my house.
We wrote. I wrote the word, and one day we was talking, and I think the topic of magic came up, and then I thought about. I was like, yo, my foot don't hurt no more. Like, and I didn't know medicine, no nothing. I just wrote that word in my book, and my pain in my foot went away. And that's when I said, okay. Then I started understanding what manifestation was and all. Like, cause like I told him too, like my cousin she gave me this book called The Secret. And I'm like, man, I don't know what The Secret is. Like I said, I read this book and I didn't get it. Like I didn't know what it was about. And it wasn't until years later I found out it was a book of people talking about how they manifested things in their life. And then the book it was talking about write a what they call it, a mood board or something, like put what
Vision
you
board.
a vision board. Yeah. And I'm like, man, what? man, what is this book talking about? Like, and it was through him, like I started really tapping in, like understanding, like having some remnants there, but not knowing what it was. Then I started looking back in my life, like, yeah, I kind of been a negative thinker for a long time, and I was like, yo, I was bringing things into my life unbeknownst to me. Now I'm trying to like change my mindset and think positive and have more positive thoughts, and move away from things that I used to harp on and stuff like that. Now I'm trying to remove those things and then add on more positive things, and think in a more positive direction. And it was because this brother helped me do that. And then doing the music, because when we first met, we was just chopping it up. Like, it wasn't, nothing came, we didn't even really talk about music. And then I was like, yo, man, you write. Like, if you want to write to something, right, man. And that's how we kind of start tapping in. And it's like, now we're at this moment, at this grand conjunction, and we're doing this music, and we feel like this music has a purpose. If it's not a title that the beat is, he comes up with a title. And like how we lined up with Divine and Iberian Oracles and Watching Birds and all those tracks, like we're really doing this music, but tapping into the stars when we're doing it also, to try to bring forth some remedy um in the world through this art, you know
Mm-hmm.
and I think at the end of the day, um we want y'all to understand that, like, this isn't just, like he said, we're not trying to have a party song, we're not trying to have the song for the chicks, we're not trying to have a street song. Like, we're trying to give y'all something applicable um in your lives that you can use, and make ourselves better. I'm constantly working on self. It I don't it's not a job. It's not a class you're going to graduate from. I'm constantly trying to keep myself even keel and build myself, and all of those things. And when I come in contact with people trying to be, not that I'm trying to be it purposely, but just naturally. I had a friend call me the other day, like, he texted me last night. A friend of his, a friend of his wife has COVID. Like, he asked me to
Mm-hmm.
pray for him. He asked me to pray for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was in a group chat with some other people that I didn't know, but he was like, yo, just can y'all put some prayers up? And, last night during my meditation, I put something in the air for that person. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And but just getting that call that somebody believed in me that much for me to tap in to put a prayer in for someone else. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, that's amazing to me.
Yeah, it's a lot of responsibility, you know, to bear light.
Mm-hmm.
It is not something to be taken lightly. And it's not something to boast and brag about. It's to bear light actually means to be burdened. It means the same thing.
Mm.
When a mother's carrying a child, it's a burden. you
Right.
know so anytime we're carrying something, even if it seems like it's something that's going to be helpful, it is a burden to carry it. And part of the music is for the person bearing a certain degree of light, is not only an attempt to share the light with the world and the cosmos, it's also an attempt toward therapy.
Oh.
Because if you got all that light and it can't get out, everything everything has a shadow. So even all this light can be tumorous if it's not able to be expressed, you know. So it's a honor. I'm still tripped out because like from my era. Let me finish my thought. I always jump around and don't. It's an honor to be able to hear yourself over some sound device because when I remember being in college, the first go around in college, when I was as a kid, and how these dudes would jack us around about going to the studio. Because that was to get into a studio was a daunting task in 1997, you
Mm.
know, and in North Carolina, you know, and you're not in Charlotte, you're not in Atlanta, you in a small part, western part of North Carolina. It's like, and dudes were dangling in your face like, oh, y'all got something. We're gonna take y'all to the studio. 3 months later, yeah, we're gonna get y'all in the studio. And it never happens. So I still get excited just to hear personally myself record it. Cause I come from an era where it wasn't easy just to call up. You got 25 studios in your city, you know,
Mm.
and you might have 10 or 15 people recording out of their bedroom closet.
Yep.
Equipment was so expensive, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So I haven't gotten beyond that to where it still keeps me humble. Like, damn, had to wait all this time. So now the time has come. What am I gonna do with this? You know?
Yes.
Um I can't be 43, 44 years old around here, you know, trying to compete with Benny the Butcher and you know, do that it's one, it'd be fake for me. It ain't
Right.
me, you know. So and that's not the life, you know, that's coincides of, just how I exist this stage in life.
Right.
Um
No doubt.
so do we wanna transition into to what we got coming here
Yep.
shortly?
Yep. Let's do it.
We wanna give the title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a Dunlap title that didn't get touched. This came straight off of the press. Um, Opus 11, and we don't do the opuses in no particular order. Um, Opus 1 ain't even been recorded yet. So, uh, Lady Al says, "I want music with meaning and substance." Right on.
Yes, indeed. That's what we're
You
trying to
stay
do.
tuned. You about to get some here and to kick off your winter solstice.
Yes.
Um, so he sends me, I don't know, what is it, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's about a month old. It was one of those nights I came in and started working. Um was going through some sounds. And like I said, if I get three or more, it's an opus. So
Mm-mm.
I got the sounds and I was like, okay, started working on it. And right when I got done, I said, this is called Clarity in Sight. Now, when I like, then, the funny thing now, like when we dropped Crown 19, COVID was going on and, Jamal flipped COVID and the crown and all of that. And that's why we came with Crown 19. But the Clarity in Sight wasn't because of 2020 and all of that. I truly got the title from when I played the music back in totality. It's 9 minutes. When I played it back in totality, I was like, yo, this is Clarity in Sight. And then what happens is I send it to him, so he gets it, Friday morning. I text him. I be texting him mad late. Like when I get done, it could be like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I'm like, check your email, fam. You know, sometimes he'll tap in early. Sometimes he might tap in the afternoon or even the evening. But he'll tap in and be like, bro, this particular one he tapped in while he was at the gym, and I'll let you tell him that story.
Me and my wife go to the gym, drop the kids off in the little kids club at the gym, go upstairs, start. This particular day, we're like, we ain't gonna lift no weights, we're just gonna focus on doing cardio. We did 55 minutes of cardio. The track that Dap sent was 9 minutes and 26 seconds. There was not a moment of that cardio that went by that I didn't have that music. So let me do the math. Let me see. How many times? That's like 5, 9 times 6. That's like 6 times I played that track back to back. And I got into such a zone, I didn't even feel the cardio for a minute. We got on one machine and we was like, okay, let's do 15 minutes. We got going. I'm in the zone listening to it. By 15, I'm almost through my second run on the track. My wife looks at me. She's like, no, we was going to do 20. She's like, you want to go 25? She signaled to me. I was like, yeah, because I ain't want to. I'm in the zone. I'm not even caring about the cardio. I'm listening to this, and I got concepts going through my mind. I got bars going through my mind. I got visuals.
Yes.
Next thing you know, we had 25 minutes. She looks at me again. You want to go 30? I was like, fuck it, yeah. We had 30 minutes. So we get off. We finish 30. We get off. It was like, let's go over here to the treadmill. And I got it queued up to where it gonna start as soon as I get on the treadmill because I'm like, this is gonna drive me through my cardio. Make a long story short, I knew that it was special. Not just special, but special. Cause I don't like doing cardio. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never liked running. Anybody who know me, grew up with me, know I was never into that shit, But I got into such a zone and took my mind somewhere else. I was like, oh man. And I wrote that thing in record time,
Right. Right.
And I was like, Dad, we gotta go. We gotta go to the studio, man. We gotta try to get this thing out by the solstice.
Yeah.
I said, it's special. We gotta get it out.
And he called me
And
with the whole concept. Like he called me, like, yeah, I was on the treadmill and got the whole concept. Because it's
on the treadmill.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 4 beats. And he called me and was like, I got the concept. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And then he told me what he just told y'all. And I was like, wow. And and then over the time he wrote it out, and we're gonna be dropping it here soon.
Man, oh man.
But that's what we were talking about earlier, is like, let's put out what motivates him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm making beats. And it's like, there was a time where he was like, yeah, he's sending me these beats. Like he's not gonna be what you say, like he's not gonna be able to send me more beats than I'm writing. And it's like, and I told him, I was like, bro, I just make beats. Like I might sit down and make 5 joints back to back. Like, I don't do that all the time, but I was like, I might get off work and make 5 beats, or I might make 3 and then finish 2 I was working on and send them out. Like I done sent him beats where all 5 beats is the EP, like in a row. Like he's like, yo, this is like stuff we got coming up that's not out yet. It's stuff that I sent in one whop. He's like, yo, this is a whole joint. Like this is a whole EP. I'm like, for real? He's like, yo, yes. I'm like, all right. and then he starts writing, and then when he gets done, he gives me updates, like with our debut album that's about to drop. Most of it's done. He's just finishing up the last the last few. He got about 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes of writing.
You got about 10 minutes of writing to this track to do, and then we'll be getting ready to drop our debut joint. And even with this debut album, it's not going to be your traditional album. We'll tap in on that.
Not at all.
We're going to tap in on that as they get closer, because we kind of thinking about trying to do something special with it. But what y'all need to know, man, is like we're really trying to put this music out with some meaning behind it. We really trying to make this. Everything we do is a concept behind it, almost. And I think concept music, to me personally, is some of the best music because it's a theme to it, and it's not just a goo gob of music on an album trying to touch everybody. Because I get it, it's the music business, so I get it. You know what I mean? Like, you need some of everything on there to touch everybody you're putting it out to. Everybody might not like the whole album, but I like the part. Somebody's gonna like the party track on it. Somebody's gonna like the quote unquote hood track on it. Somebody's gonna like whatever on it. But with us, we're trying to just give y'all every time out. We're trying to give y'all high quality, high science, and great art. You know what I mean? Like musical art. That's what we're trying to. That's what I call my beats, musical art. Like when you look at it, I want you to listen to my music like how you would look at a Basquiat painting or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I try to make musical sculptures and pictures with my music. And also just real quick, I call my music melodic minimalism. Peace, brother Williams. Be safe.
Yeah, peace, good brother.
I call it melodic minimalism. So when you listen to a track like Milan Fashion Week, that's true melodic minimalism. And what that does is it invites you to the bars. It's like, now just dig in. And I'm gonna tell y'all that Milan Fashion Week, y'all gotta really, really listen. Y'all gotta really, really listen to that.
You can you cue it up?
Let me see. If I
just not all of it, but just let them hear how it comes in. Just the instrumental. Just
the instrumental. Okay.
Yeah, I mean the song, but like on the YouTube.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I have. I think I put that version. I think I put that version up.
If I play it, because you got yours running through your mixer, right?
Yeah, I should be good to play it without you. I should be able to do it without it messing anything up. Yeah, let me see.
And the bells too. And sometimes there are unexpected colors like green and olive going with the.
Can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to StreamYard. Okay.
Blue, what you in a dress it wouldn't work, but it works the way it was put there.
This cloth, similar to Egyptian cotton, worn by an old Yemeni while Salatin. The 5 pillars became the 5-finger discount. Stolen by lost souls, couldn't find a way out. Fortunately, she found fine linens in the 9th inning. A Roman centaur with his cohorts tried to tear her garments apart. Etruscan habit, Ascot. The ship
captain dry scotch.
Rumor is she got family ties in Suma and Tulsa. Okay, minus the sooner.
Okay.
Under lit night, we serenade the goddess. Crooner.
Can I just interject? Now, right now, we just set a scene. I want you just know what I was projecting out. I'm rapping, and I know I shouldn't give a breakdown, but I'm gonna break character. This whole song is about, it appears, is about a model.
Yes.
But the model is a model for people. This cloth, similar to Egyptian cotton, Egyptian, worn by an old Yemeni while salatin. So the skin, this cloth, similar to Egyptian cotton, worn by an old Yemeni while salatin. The 5 pillars became the 5-finger discount. So who are the original Muslims? Okay. In Islam, the 5 pillars of Islam was stolen, 5-finger discount, you know? So all this is, the model is really a metaphor for people. And the song is showing how she's put on display. And then I talk about how the people come out and they express fake rage, so concerned about the fact she hasn't eaten in days. That's all your fake liberals who come out and like, oh, my heart just aches. And, you know, so concerned because she hasn't eaten in days. You know what I'm saying? While they still sitting back, gawking at her like she's an animal.
Yeah.
So that just to give an idea of the, and the whole concept came from listening to the song.
Yep.
The original instrumental. Yeah. And the fact that he titled it, that's Dap's title was Milan Fashion Week. I'm like, damn, how am I gonna flip this? Mm-hmm. And the music sounds eerie. Mm-hmm. This is how organic the shit is. The music, to me, the way it influenced me, it said, you gotta tell a story, Jamal. It just can't be no battle bars. Yo, I'm the illest MC you ever walked the earth. You know, it was, oh man, this some type of tragedy happened. That's what the song is moaning. Can you cue it up, Dap, one more time? The intro. Listen to the song, how it moans when it with the instrumental.
And the bells too. And sometimes there are unexpected colors like green and olive going with
this is emotion.
But yeah, in a dress it wouldn't work, but it works the way it was put there.
This cloth, similar to Egyptian cotton, worn by an old Yemeni while salatin. The 5 pillars became the 5-finger discount. Stolen by lost souls, couldn't find a way out. Fortunately, she found fine linens in the knife inning. A Roman centaur with his cohorts try to tear her garments apart. A Etruscan habit, ascot, like a ship captain, dry scotch. Rumor is she got family ties in Suma and Tulsa. Okay, minus the sooner. Under the moonlit night, we serenade the goddess. Crooner, sidebar, the devil can't hurt you, only make you harm yourself. Kruger, mountain cougar, roam the west side of NC. Rugers, we're no longer juniors, we are seniors in our class. Eons have passed, shards of broken glass come together like satin threads. Milan Fashion Week.
You know what's funny? Jamal said, "Man, how you come up with that title for that beat?" And I was like, I was messing with this Tony Arden record, and it's Italian. I said, well, what's in Italy? Milan Fashion Week. That's in Italy. So that's what I named. And that's an opus. This is the shortest opus. This is only 5 minutes and 57 seconds. This may be the shortest opus, but this is an opus too. Because whenever you hear it, when we do a beat that's one long song and there's 3 or more tracks, I call them opuses. So this is an opus too, also rather, and he heard it and was motivated. And it's also melodic minimalism because it's also melodic minimalism in a way that it's just the chops and drums, no bass line, no nothing. It's just the chops and drums for three separate and tying into the story too. Each track is still talking about that model in different forms. That's why I'm like, y'all gotta really go back and listen to this joint. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Let me go to the second portion of it.
Y'all want in on the action. Peel off in.
Soft color blocks of the dress.
And then those, and I think that's Karl Lagerfeld in these interviews, right?
I don't even know. I don't even know who it is.
I think one of them is, because I came across one of them. I think one of them's Karl Lagerfeld talking about, he's talking about fashion in these. So we're tying in a fashion designer talking about the fashion, and then Jamal's coming back with the verses talking about this model going through different things. Here's the second portion of it.
Soft color blocks of the dress. But there is another ad, like if you spice it up with colors.
He comes in crazy on this too.
Different colors, handbag with different colors and materials.
Drugged in a residence, found face down and Trueless left no evidence. At least they thought so. They overlooked the P code, colored P coat, the last trace of a royalty. The pedigree is obvious, a chaos is orderly. Awful paradox, still she loyally dredges on with the soil and flees. Plutonian, scorpionic is a jabs. Underworld, chthonic just below the Ave. Ma'ati in, Sabat and them, the bottom at the top again. Question is the ration fair you portion them? Probably not.
See? So it's like, now she's in a different standpoint, they found her, and then the third portion of it is my joint, because that it's all beautifuls in there. That's my joint.
The best stories full of irony. Until the end it seemed that the victor would sink his ivories deeper in the flesh. Vital force sucked until there is nothing left. But then dramatic change ushers in a new era. The main character's revelation, no mascara. Under the gorgeous skin and beautiful grin lurks a fire that burns hotter than the scorching sand of arid desert land. In quiet, her soul draws nearer. She's surrounded by several mirrors. Through anger, sadness, and streaming tears, she cries, she scries. Divinating, there is no fear, just focused eyes. Kali Yuga, no more Uber. Instead, sweet chariots fly that are made from fire. So when chambers echo, she reply. Her fruit hangs low enough to reach high. Feet earth and head is sky. Arms stretch, oceans comply. Winds blow by, Rosso leaves on trees. Every root, every stem through her breathes. Through every womb she conceives. Every thought that comes and leaves is her. So with the goddess we confer. And when we concur, it's all beautiful.
It's all beautiful.
It's all beautiful, man. Yo, I'm telling you, bro, like, listen. This right here, man, it's like when I sat back and listened to this when I got it, I was just, you just had to keep listening to it and listening to it. It's so, there's so much depth to it, man. It's like, it's mind blowing for real.
I appreciate it. It's power of inspiration. And see, just for Just a little astrological significance here. So Dap is a Leo. I'm
Yes.
Aquarius.
We all nod. Good looking Lady Owl.
So if you think about the producer, Leo is a fire sign, okay? A fixed fire sign. So that means the fire that has been lit from Aries is now fixed. It's sustained, okay? Aquarius is an air sign, okay? Which is the natural complement of fire and of Leo. So what Aquarius does, air expands fire. Okay.
Yep.
So the producer, the Leo, sends the track, right? It's fire. And then all the MC does is spits on it. Air. And just expands it. You know, this astrology shit.
I told you 2020, I'm tapping in.
Look, man.
2021, I'm tapping in.
You can't even fake it. You know, you can't even fake a story that good. I mean, it's you know, but when we end this, I am going to export Clarity Insight out of Adobe Premiere. Oh, Lady Al says she's Aquarius rising. Wow. What's your sun?
You locked in.
And what house you got Aquarius in? Oh, first house. My bad. First house. So first house. So you act. First house natural ruler is Aries. So you act through your thoughts first. You think before acting. What's your sun sign, Lady Al? But yeah, when we get done with this, I'm gonna export this.
He gave y'all Easter egg in that joint too. Echoes in chambers. Just keep your ears out. Keep your ears ready. It's a little Easter egg in that last bar. You get it now.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Little foreshadowing for y'all.
Yes. Like I peeped that, I was like, yo. And then when we come back and circle back about our debut album, hopefully I can remember to pull this back up because it's organic. Like he wrote that without, like, we don't know what's coming next. Like we sit back and you know, it's like we got all these tracks. He got stuff that's done. He has things that he's working on, and then we sit back and it's like, okay, we haven't put nothing out in a minute. What we want to do, and then he goes through his Rolodex of what's prepared, or you know, like I said, I'm always sending them tracks, so now I'm current ready, and then it's like, so you know, with us doing the debut album next, but not knowing it when he wrote Milan Fashion Week and put that Easter egg in there. That's how we be finding stuff, bro. Like that's literally how we be finding stuff. Like I heard that and was like, wow. And then when we decided, okay, let's do the debut joint next.
Wow.
Y'all gonna see why that's an Easter egg without us even knowing it's an Easter egg. That's organic shit.
That's right. That's right.
That's true organic right there.
That's right.
And then what happens is when we find that and tap into that, then we's like, oh, that's that. Okay, boom. You know?
And it's magic.
Magic. It took me a while to get on the magic train, but I'm on the magic train.
It's magic. Because we're always working it whether we are aware of it or not.
Yeah.
We're always manifesting. Damn.
I just became aware.
Yo, Lady Owl is Aquarius sun and rising and Leo moon. Wow. We got us a savant, a genius over here. So it's only right that you get Think Music. It's only right. You get it. You astrologically get it. You you get it at a core level. But I just want to say I'm humbled. I'm glad that you know, I was able to link up with Dap because it's one thing to go through SoundCloud hunting for beats and like, oh, I kind of like that. Flippity flappity dippity dappity, you know, write something to that, you know what I'm saying? Versus actually just to have a artistic, creative exchange like this. You know, we truly feel that we own something, and a lot of other people do from the feedback we get, you know.
Yep.
And
shout out to Wise Feminine.
Wise Feminine, yeah. Shout out to brother Ulysses, Second Chamber. I can't remember that off the top of my head, but all the people who've been supporting us through Bandcamp, you know.
Yes.
And all of you who have supported through YouTube, just watching the videos and leaving your comments and fire emojis and bombs and you know what you say, Dap?
I said much appreciated.
No doubt.
Keeps us motivated. It makes us feel like we're doing the right thing.
For sure. So here in Texas it's 12:01, and I just want to officially say, happy winter solstice, prosperous, rejuvenating, reinvigorating winter solstice to everybody. You know, it's no matter where you at, it's your time, man. Fuck it. It's your time. You know? It's your time. You've been toiling, you've been doing the work, you've been trying to maintain a certain degree of integrity about how you carry yourself and move in a world where it seems like having any degree of integrity makes you seem like boo-boo the fool, to you know what I'm saying, to not succumb to that. Hats off, you know. I feel like it's that time. What I'm gonna yield the floor. What you got there before we?
Yeah, I just want to say, man, I wasn't really into the astrology and numerology and all that stuff heavy. You know, I was surface, but I was telling Jamal, like my wife's into it, Jamal's into it, and I want to tap into it. Like I want to really pay attention to it because, you know, I was telling him earlier we was talking. It was like, yo, it's in the Bible, but you know, you're kind of shunned from it. But the Bible tell you to look at the stars. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm not a Christian or anything like that, but like I said, I grew up in the church and reading, and it's like when you come outside of that and start doing some other research and getting into some other things, you start seeing some parallels, and it's like, oh, you know, like as I was never one of the guys that's like, well, you know, get rid of the Bible. Like, nah, it's still some things in there, and I think that I just knew it as something else, but I was already tapping in. Like prayer and meditating is tapping in to what I'm doing now. Is just I was adding in Jesus' name at the end. You know what I'm saying? But I was trying to tap into, something higher. And so now I want to really get into, to the astrology piece, man, and really understand that, and especially for myself, and to and then maybe share that with other people, with what's going on with them. I could share, what I see, not trying to be an astrologer or anything, um, but it makes more sense than I ever thought it did. And then doing that magic by writing that word down, really, and have, like, me and my wife was saying this thing like a year ago. We was like, application. Like, you could read so much, but then you gotta apply it and see if it works. And I think sometimes we hear people talking about what we should do, and we don't know if they implemented it or not. We don't know if they got the benefit they say you should get from it. Like, did you do it and get that benefit? So me and my wife was saying this thing like, yo, okay, you read something, you have to apply it and see if it works. You know what I'm saying? So that's what writing the word was for me. And then I got remedy from it. My foot stopped hurting, like, straight up. So I'm like, yo, that works. So maybe some other things work. And I had to get out of my scared zone of, like, because having that Christian mindset, turned me away from some things. But really, I found it to be in reverse. We was doing those things first, and then they put the religion on us. And that's what took you away from doing the magic. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. So, so yeah, that's what I want to do coming up is tap into that. Continue to do the knowledge. Continue to read and study and those things, but then add the astrology piece and tap in more in that way, and keep progressing with these beats and with Think Music and growing in that way also. I have a small circle of people I'm around, and I'm good with that.
No doubt.
and I was just tapping into the art and trying to take my art somewhere that I think is boundless. So that's all I got, man. I'm excited to put this Clarity Insight out. I'm excited for the debut album. In the other in the other projects we have in the pipeline. And I'm just excited to be, to start working on these solo instrumental albums ideas I have, and working on that and starting to put that stuff out. And yeah, and I'm cool, man.
No doubt. I'll just conclude it. Is you curve the magic to them. No doubt. What's up, Yoel? Hey, like we said in a lot of the text, only thing left to say is 2021.
2021. Y'all be safe. Hey, Jamal's gonna upload this track, so however long, it should be right up. And then let's all circle back and listen to this joint together. You know what I'm saying? Because this joint's fire.
Right.
Like, this joint's fire. And it's an opus. And I hope you guys, you gentlemen and ladies, I hope y'all enjoy it. Like I said, we got more music in the pipeline coming. We got the debut coming next. And maybe next. I can't even say it's next, because who knows? But it's definitely coming. And yeah, man, enjoy this Clarity Insight. I hope y'all like it.
No doubt. Hey, thank y'all to everybody for tuning in. And I don't know, I kind of dig this. I think we're gonna have to try to do this more often, Dap.
No doubt. Yeah.
Come on here and chop it up. But as always, everybody stay down till you get up. And when you get up, stay down and think music.
Peace.
Peace.